Hey, high school ag class. I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing, what I'm working on today, and talk to you guys a little bit about carbohydrate production in plants. Now, we talked about this a little bit. Plants are carbohydrate factories. They photosynthesize and they produce tons of carbohydrates, and then we, the animal kingdom, are always looking around for those carbohydrates. We need that energy. And so for planting, for figuring out things that I can plant to feed myself carbohydrates, one of my favorite things to eat is potatoes. They grow really well here in our climate, and they are serious carbohydrate producers. So if you look over here, you can see this is all planted in potatoes already. And this was new land that I went through. There was an old tree there that I took the roots out, loosened up the ground, made it into beds, threw a little bit of fertilizer on there. If you're at home and you want to plant some potatoes, they don't need a lot of fertilizer, but I recommend a bag of chicken manure from the store. I think that's the cheapest, best, and spread it over a bunch of ground. You only need a light sprinkle. They don't need a lot of fertilizer. And a little bit of wood ash or calcium can help sweeten the soil a little bit. Once you got the soil loosened and mounded into a bed, which is important for potatoes because they're a root crop, you want that soil nice and loose so those roots can form in there and they're not hitting hard ground or rocks. And now when you're ready to plant, you want to think about a potato plant when it's full sized. You can look it up, but I know from my experience that potato plants, they get about that big on top and about equal size on the bottom with all their potatoes growing. So that's about how much space I need to give between my plants, right? So if I got one potato that's going to grow right here, I'll have another one right here, have another one right here, and so on. These are just sprouting potatoes. I think I got these at Costco. And you already saw they're already growing. So whenever possible, I prefer the lazy method of farming. I'm going to toss these right in the hole, cover them with a little bit of soil. For these, I'm not going to cover them all the way and flatten the soil out because I can do that a little bit later on, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So I'm just going to cover them with about 2 inches of soil and just snug that soil down just like that. Don't even have to bend down. And I'm going to plant the rest of this bed just like that at that same spacing. Now, what's going to happen in a few weeks, those potatoes are going to sprout up, and as soon as they're making leaves and making their own carbohydrates, now I don't have to worry about putting too much dirt around them, and I can push the dirt back around the plant and mound it up. That way, there's plenty of soil when those little potatoes start forming down here. There's plenty of soil for them to grow into. And you always want to plant potatoes in March, April, May. May is about the latest you want to plant potatoes, and then they're ready to harvest in the fall. And if you don't know when they're ready to harvest, you can always dig around a little bit, see how big the little potatoes are, and that'll tell you if your patch is ready to harvest or not. Yeah, we can talk more about this later. Bye, guys.